Good evening and hello everyone. Welcome to St. Pius High School. Tonight it's St. Pius Warriors taking on St. James Academy on 810varsity.com. Fantastic high school matchup here in the Kansas City metro area. St. Pius comes into a 9-4 record, and St. James Academy sitting at 5-3. They're riding a 4-game winning streak. Starting lineups for the Warriors is Grant Gavin, a senior, Mac Mason, a senior, Marshall Mason, Brian Kaufman, and Luke Hoban. Over on St. James Academy, it is Tom Huppy, Ben Maskus, Bob Egan, Mayfield, and Jake Whitman. Got 8 minutes on the clock. The gym is full, and we're set to go. Whitman will be jumping up against Luke Hoban. The Thunder control the tip. Huppy will bring it up. Man-to-man defense for the Warriors. Should be a fantastic matchup. Both these teams met Barstow and came away with a 2-point victory early on for St. Pius against Barstow. And back in December for St. James. There's a shot by Huppy. Three-pointer no good. Nice hustle on the rebound for Ben Maskus. And it puts the Thunder up 2-0 with 7:30 on the clock, first quarter. Hoban inside, up over the defense, and they're call a foul. Could be on Maskus. Brian Kaufman, the shooter. Ben Maskus, his first. That's team foul number 1 for St. James. Kaufman's first is no good. He'll get 2. Fouled on the shot. Brian Kaufman had 32 points against Harrisonville earlier this season. Hit 4 3-pointers. Kind of strapped the team on the back as he missed his second, and Whitman came down with the rebound. Over to Maskus. Still man-to-man for St. Pius. They try to get into Whitman. Picked up by Luke Hoban. Down to Mac Mason. Kicks it out and mishandled by Brian Kaufman, and it'll go Thunder way. Still 2-0, 7 minutes. Thunder in their traveling red uniforms. St. Pius Warriors in home white. Whitman looks inside for the cutter, Ingen. Huppy will take it from the free throw line. Hits the back of the rim. Whitman had a hand on it, but St. Pius comes away with it. Marshall Mason will bring it up. Mack and Marshall will handle most of the point guard duty for the Warriors. 6:35, still 2-0. St. Pius is still not able to find the hole yet. Hoban kicked up, almost picked off by Mayfield, kicked out by Gavin to Mason. Inside, back to Hoban. His shot was no good. Another rebound for Jake Whitman, the senior. 6:13 opening quarter. Mayfield looking for Maskus on the baseline, and he's fouled. Well, Luke Hoban almost had a steal there, but Maskus was able to come away with it, and then he was fouled on the shot. Be team foul number 1, and Grant Gavin's first. Ben's first one hits the front of the rim, but rolls in. Shooter's touch. He's got all three points so far. Ben Maskus only had 11 points last game against Lewisburg Wildcats. 8 different Thunder scored in that game against the Wildcats. And victory at home, 71-50. 4-0, 6:03. That's Mac Mason, the senior, 6'4" point guard for St. Pius. Boy, Mayfield got a hand on it, almost took it away. Goes to Grant. Grant will drive the lane, kick it back to Mason, partially blocked, and a turnaround jump hook from the baseline. Mac Mason with the first points for St. Pius. 4-2, 5:35. Maskus kicks it out over to Ingen. Back up top to Mayfield. Ben Maskus drive the lane, kick it out. Mayfield will shoot that from the baseline. Hits the front of the rim. Nice big rebound for Brian Kaufman. 4-2, 5:15. Grant Gavin back over to Mason. They find Hoban. He's in trouble. Nice seal off by Kaufman. He had to kick it back out to Mason. Mason will shoot it. It's good. It's two-pointer. Mac Mason with all 4 points for the Warriors. 4-4. 4:50 on the clock. There's a steal by Marshall Mason, and he tried to get it over to Gavin. A nice hustle back by Bob Ingen. So into the game is Nick Morgan. Gavin will have a seat for St. James. Ingen, Mayfield, and Maskus will come out. Into the ball game for St. James is McKee, Frank, and Clay McCullough. McCullough's got Kaufman. He'll have his hands full as Kaufman, perhaps one of the better athletic players on St. Pius's team. Kicked over to Hoban. Hoban with a move on Whitman. Lost the ball, got it back, and he scores. Luke Hoban's first points on the evening, and the first lead for St. Pius, 6-4 with 4:20. McKee over to Huppy. Huppy kicks it to Frank. Frank will drive, middle of the lane, shoots, score. Nick Frank comes in and makes his first basket. Back to 6-6 all time with 4:01. There's a drive by Kaufman. Kaufman missed his first two free throws, but is now up on the board. Here's the freshman, Clay McCullough. No good. Rebound, St. Pius. Takeaway by Whitman, and Whitman missed it point blank. 8-6. Here's a three-point attempt, no good. Nick Frank picks it up. Frank will look to push it. St. James will run on you. Here's a layup by Frank, high off the glass, and scores it. Frank only scored 1 point against Lewisburg, and he's heated up so far here in the first quarter with 4. 8-8, 3:17 as we got a foul on the floor against St. James. Ben Maskus is set to come back in, and Whitman will have a seat, along with Marshall Mason. So the foul was on the floor against Nick Frank. It's their second team foul. No trouble getting it in. Finally found Brian Kaufman. Kick over to Nick Morgan. Morgan back down to Kaufman. Over to Hoban. Cody Williams into the ball game for St. Pius. There's Nick Morgan again. Working for the open shot, setting screens in the lane. St. Pius. Skip pass. Nice defense by St. James Thunder. Finally get it inside to Marshall Mason, and he scores. Mac Mason. He's got 6. Too easy of a shot. 10-8, 2:37. Maskus had the ball knocked out of his hands. Huppy will drive. He'll score. Tom Huppy with 2. His first points. 10-10. What we expected, a back-and-forth game by both teams. Hoban looked inside, kicked it back, rotate the ball around. Nice patient offense. Nice ball fake, and Maskus picked him up and knocked it out. What a nice block by Ben Maskus. Nice help side defense by the St. James Thunder. Huppy will have a seat, and Mayfield will come back in for Tom Huppy. 2:09 opening quarter. I talked about both these teams played Barstow. Nick Morgan, who's in the ball game, three-point shooter, had 18 against Barstow. Nice defense by Nick Frank, knock it away. Another turnover by St. Pius. Here comes the Thunder. 10-10 over to Mayfield. There's Clay, the freshman. Nice move. Take the layup, had the ball stripped. Coach Dome coming from Cheney High School. Very successful program down there for 4 years. First year at St. James Academy. McKee, Maskus, Mayfield. Maskus will sit a pick. Kick it back to Maskus. He'll drive over to McKee. Baseline, good. Dylan McKee, you can't leave him open. He has a nice shot from the outside, and he'll score it. 12-10. St. James has the lead back. Minute 24. Spin move, had to kick it back out. Nice defense, claps down on Mac Mason. Trying to find some help there. He found Marshall. Marshall reset things, calls out a play, grants in, looking for Mack at the low block. Nice takeaway by Ben Maskus, stayed home and had some help side defense. Low harassment to Mayfield. Here comes the Thunder. McKee thought about it, over to Ingen. Ingen kicks it back out. Look for the drive. Bob will reset it, has a screen up top by Clay. Run the motion offense, looking for the cutter, baseline. Back to Mayfield, under 36 seconds to play, and 3 seconds, Clay. Clay fell asleep in the lane and caused a turnover with 33 seconds left in the first quarter. Mack will take it out of bounds. Goes to Marshall. Got enough time for one shot here. Mack will push it up. He wants to drive, and he does so, and he's fouled. Looks like Bob got him on the arm or perhaps the body as Mason goes back to the line. 25 seconds on the clock. First foul on Bob Ingen. That's the third team foul by St. James. Mack will shoot two. There's his first. It's good. Tom Huppy set to come back in for the Thunder. Mack's second is good. He's got 8 points. Joe McCoy comes in for the Warriors, and Bob Ingen will have a seat. 25 seconds on the clock, first quarter left, 12-12. Coach Dohm wants the last shot as they do a little matchup trapping zone. McKee over to Clay. Skipped over to Huppy, 10 seconds on the clock. Huppy's got to go. Finds Clay McCullough, down to McKee. 5 on the shot on the clock, and he's fouled. Boy, that's too bad. Marshall going after the ball had a foul with 3 seconds. Here comes Kyle Dieters into the game, a 6'6" forward, junior for St. Pius. As Marshall Mason will have a seat. 12-12, 3 seconds. 3 seconds on the clock. That is the second team foul for St. Pius. There's Huppy. Huppy will have a shot. Shoots the three, and it's short. So after the first quarter, the score remains 12-12. St. James and St. Pius. We got a good one going on 810varsity.com. Reset things into the first quarter, 12-12 so far. Mac Mason's had his way with 8 points for the Warriors for St. Pius. St. James Academy taking on St. Pius just across the state line. Pius coming in at 9-4, the home game in white. And St. James Warriors in their traveling red uniforms. Hoban's out there with Mason, along with Cody Williams, Grant, and Dieters roaming the lane. Over to Hoban. Look to Dieters for a second. Kick out to Mason. Inside to Hoban. Hoban will have a right-handed, wide-open layup, and he'll score. He's got 4. Hubby, Maskus, Mayfield, Clay McCullough, and McKee out there for the Thunder. And Coach Dom wants a timeout. 30-second timeout as St. Pius takes a 2-point lead with 7:25 left in the first half. You're watching 810varsity.com. – 14-12, St. Pius with a 2-point lead. St. Pius taking on St. James from Lenexa, Kansas. 7:26 left here in the first half. Been a back-and-forth game. So far it's Mason coming up big for St. Pius with 8 points. Hoban jumps out. Maskus, and then Hoban comes down with help defense and shuts down Maskus and knocks it out of bounds. Dieters, Mason, Maskus, Cody Williams, and Grant back out there for St. Pius. Huppy gets it inside to Clay. Clay spin move to the middle, and it won't go. Rebound, Luke Hoban. 7:06. Jake Whitman set to come back in for St. James, along with Nick Frank. Man-to-man defense for the Thunder. Kicked over to Hoban. Look for Dieter. He'll drive. Lost the ball on the way up. Gets it back. Ball fake and up and in. Luke Hoban with 6. 16-12. Biggest lead for St. Pius so far. 4-point lead. 6:35 left on the clock. First half. Over to McKee. Maskus will look to drive. Nice help side defense. Collapse on Maskus. Had to kick it out to Huppy. Look for McKee down on the baseline. Inside to Clay. Clay spins up, and he walked. Bob Egan comes back in. McKee, Clay McCullough will have a seat, along with Mayfield. Mac Mason comes in, and Grant will have a seat for St. Pius. 16-12, 4-point lead to 6:15 on the clock. Brian Kaufman. Over to Mason. So far, the 6'6 Dieter's not a factor in the game. He'll roam the baseline. Here's Kaufman. Kaufman from the baseline. Left-handed shot. Nice. Fade away. It's good for 2. Kaufman has 4. Out to a 6-point lead, 18-12. Thunder need a bucket right here. They find Frank. Frank's going to shoot the 3. Missed everything. Got the backboard. Rebound, Hoban. He kind of rushed his shot and was long. Defense was the key against the Wildcats in that victory for St. James. Got to get some steals. Here's Mason for 3. No good. Rebound, Maskus. 5 minutes left on the clock here in the first half. Over to Frank. Look for Whitman shortly as he flashed. Back out to Huppy. Nick Frank has Mason on him. Nice defense with his feet. No hands. Huppy will shoot a floater. It's good. Boy, it's been a while since we had a basket for St. James, and Huppy has 4. 18-14, 4:48. Little miscommunication on defense, and then Bob Egan and Huppy finally found an open man. Huppy went and found Hoban. Here's a shot by Nick Kaufman for 3. Brian Kaufman, he can shoot the three. Proved that earlier this season. 21-14. Here's Ingen. Bob Ingen with a floater inside. Ingen gets his first 2 points of the night. (21-16), 4 minutes on the clock. Hoban, nice cutting inside, and Mason found him. Luke Hoban has 8. Boy, Hoban found the open lane and made a nice move in for a layup. Put him up by 7, 23-14, 3:38. Down to Frank, skip pass to Huppy. Huppy will shoot the three. Boy, look good from right here. Nice rebound by Jake Whitman, and he turns and scores. Whitman with his first points in the evening. Jake only had 3 points in the last game Tuesday night against Lewisburg. Mason thought about the three, drive the baseline, tried to dish it over to Dieters. Picked up by Nick Frank, and Huppy's going to pass it over to Whitman. They find Frank on the baseline. The defense got back in time. Had the numbers, not quick enough. Over to Maskus. Out to Ingen, kicked over to Huppy. 2:44, 5-point lead, 23-18. Whitman on the baseline. Maskus drives, finds Whitman. Whitman will shoot that. It's good. Jake Whitman, a 6'6 senior, has the last 2 baskets for the Thunder. 23-20, 2:24. St. Pius with the 3-point lead. Maskus breaks up the pass. Finds Jake Whitman again, and Whitman puts it back in. Whitman running the floor, wide open down under the basket. Maskus found him. 23-20, 1-point lead with 2 minutes on the clock, first half. Mason picked up his dribble, looking for the cutter. Finds Kaufman. Left-handed shot. It's going to fall. Brian Kaufman, 9 points. The only thing he hasn't done is hit his free throws. He's 0 for 2. 25-22, back to a 3-point lead for St. Pius. Into Whitman, and Whitman mishandled it. Picked up by Marshall Mason. Over to Kaufman. Dieter, Hoban, Kaufman, and the Masons out on the floor for St. Pius. And Coach wants a timeout. Coach Chad Wright wanted to talk things over. So with 1:18 left here in the first half, it's 25-22. You're watching 8-10 varsity. Back to live action. 1:18 left here in the first half. It's been a good one. Back and forth. St. Pius has opened up a 7-point lead, and St. James cut it down to 3 on the back of Jake Whitman, who scored 6. Off the turnover, Coach Chad Wright wanted a timeout. 7. Here's Kaufman. Kicked over to Grant. Man-to-man defense for the Thunder. Kaufman again. Nick Morgan almost lost it. Picked it back up. Here's Mason. Nice defense by